Welcome to SATV News. This is Shabala Alam with our headlines. Youth will elevate country status following Sheikh Kamal's ideas, hopes Prime Minister distributed NSC awards. Stockpiling worsens fertilizer crisis, prices to go up, triggering more suffering for farmers. Rahul Gandhi along with several leaders of Congress detained in Delhi, nationwide protest against unemployment and inflation. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina today hoped that the young generation would groom themselves following the ideals, principles, work procedure and directives of freedom fighter Sheikh Kamal to elevate Bangladesh's status further, not only at home but also across the globe. The Premier expressed this optimism while distributing Sheikh Kamal National Sports Council Award 2022 at a ceremony in city's Usmani Memorial Auditorium, organized to mark the 73rd birth anniversary of freedom fighter Shohid Captain Sheikh Kamal, the eldest son of father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. She joined the ceremony as the chief guest virtually from her official residence, Gana Bhavan. Sheikh Hasina said her brother Sheikh Kamal as a multi-talented youth. She distributed the award among 9 sport personalities and 2 organizations for their outstanding contribution to the country's sports. On her behalf, State Minister for Youth and Sports, Zahid Ahsan Rasil, handed over the awards among the recipients. At the outset of the ceremony, a video documentary of the life and works of Sheikh Kamal titled Ek Alor Pother Jatri was screened. Later, the Prime Minister unveiled a memorial pictorial book on Sheikh Kamal. The ruling Awami League and its associate bodies paid floral wreaths as mark of respect at the grave of noted Liberation War organizer Sheikh Kamal, also the elder son of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, on his 73rd birth anniversary on Friday. To mark the day, Awami League General Secretary and Road Transport and Bridges Minister Obaidul Qadir placed floral wreath at the grave of Sheikh Kamal at city's Bonani on behalf of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at 8:30 a.m. Later, Qadir, along with party's senior leaders, paid tribute at Sheikh Kamal's grave on behalf of the Awami League. After placing floral wreaths, they observed 1 minute silence and prayed for eternal peace of the departed soul of the deceased. Later, the ruling party leaders spread flowers on the grave of Sheikh Kamal. Then the leaders and activists of various front organizations showed respect to Sheikh Kamal by placing floral wreaths at his grave. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina again proposed Nepal to use Mangala and Chattogram seaports alongside Saidpur airport for mutual benefits. She said while a visiting parliamentary delegation from Nepal paid a courtesy call on the Prime Minister at her official Gana Bhavan residence here this morning. Pavitra Nirola Kharil led the Nepalese delegation, mentioning that Bangladesh is developing Saidpur airport as a regional airport. The Premier said neighboring countries, including Nepal, can use the airport. During the meeting, both the sides expressed their eagerness to consolidate further the relations between the two countries, alongside strengthening bilateral cooperation and business of trade for mutual benefits. The week-long fertilizer crisis has been further intensified by the urea price hike, triggering more suffering for farmers. Dealers across the country have started to hoard fertilizers, pushing the prices further up in the retail market. Many farmers are not getting fertilizers in local markets in Nator, Nauga, Dinajpur and some other northern districts. Farmers had to buy urea at the rate of Taka 900 to 1050 per 50 kg bag even before the price hike, when the government set price was Taka 800. However, after the price hike, urea is selling at the fixed rate of Taka 1100 and the supply has also increased. Farmers said fertilizers must be applied 10 to 15 days after planting almond paddy seeds in the field. It is already time to apply fertilizers in some lands, and almost all croplands will be ready within a week or so. The local administration of Sunamganj's Tahirpur Upazila has issued 12 conditions for tourist boats making trips to the Tangorhau. From now on, no boat will be able to enter Tangorhau with tourists unless the 12 conditions were met, including mandatory registration. The local administration has issued a circular in this regard. Among the conditions mentioned, 2 are related to boat registration and 10 are related to tourism, transport and environmental protection. Tahirpur Upazila Nirbahi Officer Raihan Kabir told reporters 6 boats have been registered so far and 25 more will be registered soon. The other major conditions are no garbage or waste can be dumped in the river. However, Bill loudspeaker won't be allowed to be used on boats. Tourists won't be allowed on boats without proper safety measures. Vessels cannot carry passengers exceeding capacity, and no one should participate in anti-social activities. We are taking a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. Delhi police detained Congress leader Rahul Gandhi today after he, along with other leaders of his party, marched to the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The detention comes ahead of a nationwide protest called by the Congress to protest against unemployment, inflation and price rise. For more than 60 MPs took part in the protest march that was flagged off from the parliament to the Indian Rashtrapati Bhavan. The party said that the members of parliament wanted to submit a memo to President Draupadi on inflation and unemployment. Before the march, Sonia Gandhi was seen in parliament where party members were seen shouting slogans. Earlier, Rahul Gandhi alleged that India is witnessing the death of democracy and anybody who stands against the onset of dictatorship is viciously attacked while addressing a press conference at the party's national headquarters in New Delhi. US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Friday that the United States will not allow China to isolate Taiwan after her visit to the self-ruled island infuriated Beijing. China, which views Taiwan as part of its territory, launched its largest ever military exercises around the island after Pelosi defied stern threats to become the highest profile US official to set foot on Taiwanese soil in years. Now in Tokyo on the final leg of her Asian tour, Pelosi did not comment directly on the drills but argued that American politicians should be able to travel to Taiwan freely. 3 ships carrying a total of 58,041 tons of corn have been authorized to leave Ukrainian ports on Friday as part of a deal to unblock grain exports as a Russian offensive forced Ukraine to cede territory in the east. The first vessel carrying Ukrainian grain allowed to leave port since the start of the war sailed from Odessa on Monday bound for Lebanon under a safe passage deal brokered by Turkey and the United Nations. The Joint Coordination Center in Istanbul, which groups Russian, Ukrainian, Turkish and UN personnel, said 2 ships would leave from Chornomorsk and 1 from Odessa on Friday. From Chornomorsk and Polarnet would leave for Karasu in Turkey with 12,000 tons of corn, and the Rojan would take 13,041 tons of corn to T-Sport in Britain. From Odessa, the Navistar would take 33,000 tons of corn to Ringaski in Ireland. The Turkish bulk carrier Osprey S, flying the flag of Liberia, was expected to arrive in Ukraine's Chornomorsk port in Friday. It would be the first ship to arrive at a Ukrainian port during the war. A fire tore through a Thai nightclub early Friday, killing at least 13 people and injuring 40, a rescue services said today. that the blaze broke around 1 a.m. at the Mountain Bee night spot in Chonburi Province, Sattahip district, about 150 kilometers south of Bangkok. Video footage posted by the rescue service showed desperate revelers fleeing the club screaming their clothes ablaze as a huge fire rages in the background. The dead 4 women and 9 men were found, mostly crowded by the entrance, and in the bathroom their bodies severely burnt. A Russian court sentenced U.S. basketball star Brittney Griner to 9 years in prison on Thursday after finding her guilty on deliberately bringing cannabis-infused vape cartridges into Russia, a ruling that U.S. President Joe Biden called unacceptable. Griner was escorted out of the courtroom in handcuffs by police after the ruling. Before the verdict, Griner tearfully pleaded with a Russian judge not to end her life with harsh prison sentences. The court also fined her 1 million rubles. Griner, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, was arrested in mid-February as she arrived to play for a Russian side during the off-season. Biden, under pressure to bring home Americans held in Russia, called on Russia to free Griner immediately and said his administration would continue to work for her release.
The judge ignoring her pleas for leniency.
Before ending, we go to the headlines again. Youth will elevate country status following Sheikh Kamal's ideas, hopes Prime Minister distributed NSC awards. Stockpiling worsens fertilizer crisis, prices go up, triggering more suffering for farmers. Rahul Gandhi, along with several leaders of Congress, detained in Delhi, nationwide protest against unemployment and inflation. You're up to date so far here on SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.